Okay, so whenever you feel ready to send over the redo of our 3/4 time signature piece, go ahead and send that. No need to wait till next week. Unless you'd like to. That's totally up to you. So 60 beats per minute for our newest alternate picking drill. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 120, 1, 2, 3, 4. 180, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 240, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 260, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 280, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 300, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So I'm going to skip over to number 3. So what you can do here is treat each key. So we have the key of A minor and the key of E minor on here, also known as the key of C and the key of G. I think you know that. I think we talked about relative major minor a little bit. So yeah, I think you do know that. Alright, so yeah, this is just something to practice going from one chord into a diminished chord and out of it. So it's kind of a practical use of the chord. So if you need to, just start with just get into that shape there. So you have first finger, second finger, fourth finger, third. And if you need to, like, just focus on going from A minor to B diminished before trying the rest, that's totally fine. Or just practice going from C major into B diminished, that's also fine. But the goal here is, by the end of the week, be able to play the thing, right? No need to get this fast. You just get it played well at 60 beats per minute, that is more than enough. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pick it however you want. So I do definitely a bit of sweeping in here. So yeah, just whatever feels natural is fine for this. You may have noticed when I go into that B diminished, I typically put one finger down at a time. Totally fine way of doing that. It helps me remember where to put my fingers. So that might be something to try. Putting one finger down at a time for those difficult chords. Alright, now the key of E minor. 60, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now to number 2, the homework assignment. Well, now you know what the B diminished looks like, so you just tab it in. So this is just going through the circle of fifths at first, because we are going in order of keys that increases with sharps. So the next key has one sharp. So remember, fifth note of the previous key is the root note of the next key. So you just gotta look over here, Roman numeral 5, G, that is the root note of this key, and the new sharp is always the 7th note. So the 5th note in the key of G will be the root note of the next key. This note here that was sharp will be carried over into the key of D, and this 7th note will be the new sharp. And then when you move on to the next key, this note is the root note for this key. Both the sharps in here will be carried over here, and then your new 3rd sharp will be the 7th note. So you just keep following that, and then we get to our first flat key, or our first key with a flat. So for this, we go up 4. So in this case, it would be F. So we always start with the key of C because it has 0 sharps, 0 flats. So 4th note there is F. So that tells us F is the root note of this key. So this one is nice and convenient because as we go to the next key, well, the new flat will always be the 4th note, which is also the root note of the next key. So this flat note gets carried down here, which will be the root note of this new key. The new flat will be this note here, which will also be the root note of this key. And that just keeps going and going. So, use as many open chords as you know. If you don't know an open chord, use a bar chord. Use movable chord shapes. So you got the B diminished, you got the F sharp diminished. Just move those up and down as need be. And yeah, just use major bar chords, minor bar chords for any of the others that may not have an open position. But try and keep them open as much as you can. But the further you progress into the higher sharps and the higher flats, the more those bar chords will be needed. So, any questions, let me know. I will see you next week.